Welcome to Women Engage, where real women talk about real issues. We're so excited to have you with us today, and we've got a great topic for discussion. We're talking about women and health. If you would like to engage with us on our topic, please go onto our website at www.ecdadventist.org and click on Women Engage. We would love to hear from you. Take the opportunity to engage with other women, ask questions, make comments. So today for this program, I would like to introduce you to our panelists. I have a group of beautiful women here to discuss women in health with you. And I'm going to begin by introducing myself. And I want to tell you a personal goal that I have to improve on my own health. And so I'll ask you to do the same. So my name is Jocelyn Isabirye, and a personal goal that I have is I'm working on drinking more water and having regular sleep. Those are two things that I'm working on.
My name is Marianne Razafia Rivoni. I noticed I have a tendency to get tired very easily. So I am planning to listen to myself and see the signs where I feel like I'm getting on the border where tiredness will come, and listen and take rest so that I don't tire so easily.
My name is Yetunde Odeyemi, and my goal as of now is to try and shed some 9 kilos that the doctor said I need to get off.
My name is Merge Tui. Sometimes I lead a very busy life. And many people have told me I forget myself. My goal is just to find myself and spend more time with myself.
I'm Debbie Maloba, and my goal is to eat a lot of fruits, but also to rest, because I'm also working very hard and I'm very busy all the time. I need to make an effort.
I'm Elnori Caballero, and my goal is to follow the New Start program and trust in God.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies. Now, you notice that, we all look healthy, and yet we all have personal goals, things that we're working towards. So health is not something that you reach and then you say, I've achieved. It's something that we're continuously working towards, isn't it? Yeah. So maybe we can begin by trying to define, what does it mean to be healthy?
To me, to be healthy is to be happy, because a healthy woman is a happy woman.
Okay.
And to me, to be healthy means that I can function as a woman in wherever I have to be. When I'm sick, I cannot function. So I have to think clearly, I have to move without much pain or without pain at all. And that's what's being healthy around, to be able to function properly without any having to worry about what is happening in my body or in my mind.
Yeah. So to function at my optimum.
Yes.
So, and each of us has a different optimum, but to function at my optimum, my best capacity, it means that I am healthy. Okay. Anyone else want to add to that?
To be healthy is to have that balance on my physique, emotions, and even my thinking. Yes.
Health has also been defined as wellness and well-being. That means being at peace with yourself and being with peace with others, both humans and the environment around ourselves.
So what are the issues that are facing women and health? What are the issues that we have to tackle as women around the issue of health?
First of all, if we are mothers and wives, we have so much to do. Therefore, we do get, exhausted very easily. And there is also the tendency, like she was saying, of forgetting oneself because we have so much to give. So this is an issue whereby, at the end of the day, without knowing it, we have depleted our energy, we have depleted our mental powers, we have depleted our spiritual and emotional powers. So juggling so many roles as a woman makes it very difficult.
I think because society expects women to be mothers, sister, girl, child, everything wrapped together. We women also try to live up to that expectation. Like you can find a woman at home doing everything at once. She's trying to do the floor, the dishes, putting clothes in the washing machine, and then trying to cook at the same time. And I think we do not most of the time keep the law of temperance. Yeah, we don't know how to balance it out. And I think a few years back, I could do so many things at once. But one day we were expecting guests, and they were ADRA colleagues. So I was cooking, and we were expecting a minimum of like 15 people to come eat in our house. And I had cooked. I didn't bother to ask anybody to help me. 15 was a small number in the home I grew up in. You know, I learned to cook for a large number of people. So I was there doing everything. And then my husband said, they are coming up the road. So I said, let me quickly go and change and look proper as the good hostess that I should be, standing beside the man to shake their hands and say, oh, welcome, thank you, thank you. I was trying to get onto the staircase. I had taken the 3rd step and I fell. Oh. My legs actually collapsed. I didn't faint, but I just knew that I had done too much for one person. It would not have been out of place if I had called any of my friends on the compound to say, please, I'm expecting guests, can you come help me? Or I give it out to somebody to do the cooking and they bring it to me. Yes. You know, there are ways of going around it. After that day, I told myself, it's not worth it dying to prove that you are the good wife. Yeah, you can still be the good wife by being temperate, which I think that should actually be the hallmark of a good Christian woman, you know. So after that day, I slowed down. I really slowed down and I took it easy because it took me as a shock. You know, I was shocked that my legs would give way. This is me. I'm used to cooking for so many people and just this once, but that once marked a stage in my life for me. Yeah.
Many times as women we forget that we have also our body, we are human beings. We need rest, we need also to care for ourselves. I can take my own example. Sometimes I forget even to eat. I cook for people because I'm overloaded. I want to finish this and this and this and this and this. I forget to eat. I serve others. So I put others on the first line, forgetting myself. Yes. This is not good.
Yes. But I also believe there is our nature as women. There are hormones. There is, if you know, those elements for we go through makes us vulnerable to health issues. Childbearing have a problem. I mean, not a problem, but it can be. Yes. If you go through menopause, that's another issue. If you go through puberty, if you are a young girl, it's another
Even the
issue.
menstrual cycle.
Even the menstrual cycle is another. So our biological makeup, you know, calls for us to be careful and attentive to our health.
Yes, a friend of mine said recently that listen to your body. And at the earliest opportunity, seek help. Because sometimes we go on and go on, as teaching time saves 9. So if we wait too long, we need to go for checkups. Yes, and sometimes we also need just to talk. Because some of the challenges we face is, as I said earlier, we are so busy, we don't even get time to let it out.
Yes.
We are not even saying going to the hospital, but just meeting sisters like ourselves and talking issues. It is very, very helpful.
Because health is more than just our physical.
Yes.
It's our emotional, social, psychological, everything.
That's right.
Helps to either lead to ill health or good health.
There is also the mental, which is associated, you know, with our physical. In other words, sometimes we condition ourselves to be sick. I know of a case where, you know, the lady, she keeps saying, I am sick, I am sick, I am sick. And I believe she was. I mean, we were in a different country. It was very, very hard to live there. So therefore, I believe she was. But then somebody told her and says, talk to yourself and tell yourself that you are not sick today. You know, sometimes that thinking we do sometimes as women, even as little girls. You know, when a little girl is sick, everybody is a little bit careful. But when a little boy is sick, we will say, well, it's a boy. Just yes, it will be all right, you know. But we tend, so therefore we grow up and sometimes use that, we manipulate through our health in that way. So I think, like she's saying, we ought to tell ourselves, no, I can be in good health. I can be. Just knowing mentally, I mean, mentally talking ourselves and say, I can do something to be in good health. Even if I am not, I can go see the doctor, do the needful, but act and not just say, okay, I'm sick, and then everybody pours on you and, you know.
You know, it's interesting, Marianne, as you were giving that example about the little girl and when she's hurt and everyone's like, oh, poor thing, sweetheart, you know, and all that attention. When that little girl grows up and she becomes a mother, it's now the reverse. And actually, because in my family this week we've been sick and you know, just a cold, bit of a flu and things like that. And my daughter and my husband particularly. But my daughter said to me, and she said, Mommy, you know, you take care of all of us, and it's like you're not allowed to be sick. And that little girl who has, oh, sweetheart, oh, you're not well, when she becomes a mother, then she's not allowed to be sick.
That's right.
You know, she's the one that has to take care of everyone else.
Exactly.
And my daughter made that observation, and she goes, you know, it's like you're not allowed to ever get sick. Because when you're sick, you still keep cooking, you keep taking care of the rest of us, and then and we can be sick, but you can't. And I thought that's sad because she's a girl, and that's what she's seeing.
She's realizing that.
She's realizing that, and one day she's going to be a mother, and she'll feel that she has to live up to that expectations as well. But who puts us through these? Who set us on this pedestal that said that we are invincible, that we never get sick, that we must always be strong, that we are super women? It's the pedestal that we've created, the society has created for us, and it undermines the way that we care for ourselves, and therefore it undermines our health.
We are happy that God created us that strong.
That's right.
Yes, and we as mothers should take care of our children. And in order to take care of them is to be healthy ourselves. Yes. How can we take care of our family, our children, our husband when we are sickly? So we need to be healthy.
That's right.
That's right. Yes.
So what can we do as women to take better care of our health? What kind of things do we need to be thinking about?
Nutrition. Yes. Proper food, healthful food, the choices we do in nutrition. Then the next is exercise. Yes, mostly I see men walking, men exercising, but few ladies are exercising. But I think in our community, I'm very glad that women have started walking and exercising. Yes.
I'm just going to pause you there for a moment, Elnori. I want to just slow you down and first take you back a little bit. Let's first even go back to the very beginning. You talked about nutrition. And I think we all kind of accept that nutrition is something that's, it's a given. It's important. But sometimes there are challenges around nutrition. There are many challenges. First of all, one challenge could be a lack of information. How do we know what is nutritious, what is good for us to eat, and what isn't? Because, you know, I've noticed, for example, where I come from, I think it's changing now, but as I was growing up, the richer people were, the more meat they ate, the more sugars they had. They're the families that don't drink water, they drink sodas. They, you know, the more affluent they were, the better they ate. And the more weight they put on, the healthier they were. So how, even when it comes to nutrition, I think it's not something that we take for granted, that we necessarily know what is good for us nutritious in terms of our nutrition. So we're going to just take a short pause, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the New Start and just break it down and look at the different dimensions of New Start and how it can help us to be healthy. Welcome back to Women Engage, and the issue that we're talking about today is women and health. And just before we broke off, Elnori had introduced the New Start to us, and we were talking about nutrition. And we said there's a lot of misinformation and ignorance that we have about how to have healthy nutrition. And so it's just, there's so much that could be said about it. Maybe we can just encourage our audience. Just inform yourself. There's so much information now that is available. Books, online, inform yourself. Find out about how you can have the best nutrition to keep yourself and your family happy. So let's look at the other elements of our New Start. So the N stands for nutrition, and then we have the E for exercise. What can we say about exercise? How is that going to help us to be healthy?
You know that everything around us is active. I mean, activity is a law of life. And now with our modern society, sometimes we can find ourselves being more sitting and sedentary than doing exercise. Now, let me put it that way. I do know that there are ladies out there who every day are in the field, cooking, plowing the field, coming back home, working in the garden, everything, very busy, very active. But there is also a good proportion of us who really sit for many hours in front of the computer, in the desk at the office, or even somewhere, but really even in the house, but there are helpers or something like that. Somehow there is a lack of action in the body. So exercise is very important for health, because it allows our body, our muscles to work. It keeps us young, keeps us active, the mind works better and clearer. It is also very useful because therefore we get things accomplished, but in a certain way, whereas people can see, people can work, we can contribute, there are things we can do with our hands and our feet. I have to also mention that when we do exercise, we have to remember that we can overdo exercise. There is sometimes addiction to exercise. There are some exercises that may not fit the age. So these are considerations to take into account, whereas when we decide to have a program of exercise, to do the right exercise for us.
All right, so that's exercise. And then our next letter is the W, which is the water.
Yeah.
Okay, what can we say about that?
Water is very important. Water is life. That's the way we say it in the development world. Water is life. And when you look at it, all forms of life starts with a little bit of water component in it. And then the human body is almost 2/3 of it has to do with water. We need water in the system to circulate, to get the blood flowing, to remove toxic materials, to remove waste, to move things around in the internal organs. And I like to see it this way, that the way you wash your body on the outside using water, you need to take a good intake of water to wash the inside as well, so that you don't have a pile up of waste, whether it's urea, whether it's other forms of toxic from the environment. The urea can come from the excess protein we eat. It can be toxic materials from the environment. You need to drink water to just clean your system out. There are lots and lots of benefits for women when they drink water, for every human being, by the way. It helps the brain, it lubricates the brain when there's enough water in your system. It helps you to keep a very good skin, clear skin. And while people around the world like to worry about wrinkles, I remember I entered a shop in the UK a few years back, and the shopkeeper said, "Can you tell this woman she does not need these anti-aging creams she buys. She comes here every year, she buys, and yet she's an African woman like you." And I looked at the woman who was being spoken about. I don't know the shopkeeper, but the woman who was being spoken about happened to be a Nigerian. But she's the wife of a rich man. So she thinks she can spend money on this anti-aging cream and not have wrinkles. And I thanked the shopkeeper, and I told the other woman as I walked close, and she was looking for this, and she was speaking out to say, "I can't find this one. I saw it here the last time." I said, "Maybe also if you just add drinking water." She said, "What?" She said, "Water is too commonplace. What does it do for you? Of what benefit?"
You don't have to fly to the UK
exactly.
to buy water.
I said, it's so commonplace, and we look down on it, and we don't think it benefits us. So I started explaining to her the importance of water. I just want to say that every woman should drink a good amount of water each day. The books will tell you 8 cups of water. From the time you wake up till the time you are sleeping, it's enough gap and space to be able to fulfill 8 cups. If you can do more than 8 cups, it's okay, but don't do it at once. Don't sit at once and drink 8 cups of water. Space it out over the day and ensure that you get your body well lubricated and get your system moving. If you drink enough water as well, you would move your bowels every day. If you move your bowels every day, some people do twice a day, you will not have the frontal headache, which is something that most women carry around and we believe it's okay. Yes, she has a headache. Yeah, even me, I have a headache. Oh yeah, you know, the other time I have a headache. And we think it's a social event to talk about having a headache. Whereas if you just drink water, it clears it. The water does so many things for the body. The body cannot do without it. Don't wait until you are thirsty before you drink. We're told when you wait, it means the body is getting dehydrated. Just drink, space it out, drink in small quantities of 1 cup each time as you move around, and you'll be fine.
Thank you. Okay, then we have the S for sunlight. Really?
Yeah.
That's something important? Sunlight?
Oh, it is very much important. Yeah, but just to add to what my sister said,
Yes.
it reminds me of a lady in my village. New Start is not for urban. It's just for all of us. Bright woman in the village, and one day I asked her, Mama Beldina, what makes you so different, so full of life? And she said, my daughter, 3 things: water, soap, and trust in the Lord. I don't want to add anymore. But come to sunlight, let's just appreciate the beauty of the sun as it breaks in the morning, and the beauty of the sun as it goes down. Just like we have seasons of life, and every woman has seasons of life, even sunlight has seasons. As the day breaks, I don't know why, but where I grew up in the village, they would say that there is a time of the day, if you are taken out in the sun, even illness will reduce. You have a flu, there's a time you get out in the sun when it's not too strong. Apparently, it's medicinal. And so, encouragement we get from the New Start is, let's make use of the sunlight. Let's open our windows wide for the ventilation to come in when we are doing our exercise. As our sister has just mentioned, let's dry our grain, because some of the health issues we have is because our grain doesn't dry properly, our food. Let's take our bedding out. Let's dry our clothes, open our wardrobes. Simply, let's just take advantage of this very, very special gift from God, for which we really don't pay anything. So sunlight is a great contribution to our health.
And we're very lucky here on our African continent
Yes.
because we have plenty of it. We have sisters who may not have the access to it. So that's great. So that's the S for sunlight. Then we have T for temperance. What's that all about?
Yeah. Jocelyn, God is marvelous. The way he created us, he knew that as human beings, we need this quantity of water just to cleanse our body. We need that quantity of food so that we stay and remain healthy. Even the use of our time. In whatever we do and we take, we need to be temperate. And the body itself, God has created us in such a way that it tells you that this is enough. Do not overtake. Do not overeat. Or everything you do, even spending your time, spend it wisely and it will contribute to your health. Yes.
So temperance is about making wise choices, about
Making
balance.
wise choices,
Being balanced.
Being balanced in our life.
Yes. Not too little, not
Too
too much.
little, not too much.
Yes.
Yes.
The balance.
And the body itself, it shows you. Yes.
And I think we should, just to add on what Debbie has said, actually to talk about temperance is to say, use the right things in moderation and abstain from that which is evil.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. That's temperance. What about air?
Well, we are fortunate in this area that air is fresh, and that is what we needed. we just sympathize with those living in the cities that they just hardly get fresh air. But God is so kind that air is free for everyone. So that's what we are thankful for.
Yes.
I think for air, we also need to learn to breathe in deeply. We don't do that well enough as human beings. We forget. It doesn't mean you hold your breath, but you should learn to breathe in deeply and exhale as much as you can. And when you exercise, it helps your heart to beat in the right proportion. Yeah, some people, the heartbeat it's a bit lower than what is expected for a number of minutes. So we need to learn to breathe in properly and exhale the air as much as we can.
As Yetunde was saying, breathe, I took a deep breath. Okay, so air, rest.
I think rest is most important for women. As young women, we don't realize it. You know, you have the energy, you can move around, you can do things. There are times you find, I met a group of sisters who said, I said, try and sleep before 10 or sleep at 10, 2 hours before midnight. They looked at me and they said, no way, don't preach that sermon here. It's impossible. Women need to rest. If you want to look beautiful, if you want to lose weight, I have found that one of the secrets to it is to take a rest 2 hours before midnight. That's the minimum. If you can go to bed at 9, you would find that your body will know how to digest the food and not be digesting food late at night. But you know, you also have to keep away from eating late at night for you to be able to maintain a good body weight. So rest is important. It's the time when the brain has the time to lay the neural parts. If you learn something today, Jocelyn, the brain looks at it during the day and it's waiting for you to sleep. If you don't get a proper rest, the brain does not lay that part properly. So the moment you lay down, instead of your whole body digesting food because you have taken a good, your meal way before you go to bed, you find the brain starts to work. And it's like creating roads. It creates those parts in the brain. And so many of the new things you learn, actually all the new things, it will lay them there and keep them. And that's why you do not forget.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies. And as we wind up, I have the privilege of doing the very last letter. That's the last T.
Yes.
Trust in divine power. Trust in God. We can always do our part to try and be healthy. But at the end of the day, real health comes in knowing that there is someone who can do what we cannot. Someone who can take care of the things that we don't have the power to take care of. Trust in God. When we trust in God, He gives us a peace, not just a peace, but one that passes understanding. It keeps us in good mental health. It keeps us energized. It keeps us optimistic and encouraged, so we can be able to have the strength to do whatever it is that God has placed in our hands today. And so our audience out there, thank you for joining us today. We hope that you will continue to work on your own personal goal for health, the goals for your family. We pray that God will enable you to be able to use that trust in Him to put into place the things in your life that will help you to be healthy and happy. Until we meet again, God bless you.